Hi, my beautiful ladies. It's Deesh, and I actually just got back from an event, and we were talking about relationships, and we got some strategies per se on, I guess different ideas for 2017. I mean, just a really overall discussion, conversation on relationships, and it was it was good. It was fun, different, different perspectives. So I just wanted to touch on that in this video. So you guys know that I am the author of No More Broken Records, 5 Tips to Change Your Tune and Transform Your Life. And I am the founder of the movement No More Broken Records, which is a movement to empower women not to settle. So it's 2017. At this juncture, I am single myself. I am dating, but like no one that I can say like I'm interested in. So, me going forward for myself as well, I think something that we probably all could do is really think about our perception and the stereotypes. It's something that we brought up at the event that I was at, because I think we all have stereotypes and perceptions of the person, gosh, if they have something particular, for the guys, it was, oh, if she has a mean look on her face and, if she's not approachable and yada, yada, which I understand. I certainly understand that. But, the question was posed from a woman, which I fully understand. I fully understand where that question came from, because I feel the same way, or have experienced it. The fact that sometimes you can be a strong woman, right? Or let me not even say that. A career woman, okay? A career woman, you're doing your thing. And so automatically sometimes a man may perceive you to be a certain way. We are queens, hello. But seriously, a woman, you walk in confidently, because you're a queen, but you walk in confidently, you have your career, you're doing good. You're doing the damn thing for yourself. Okay. Like automatically, to be perceived as a certain kind of way, or she must not, automatically, for guys to think she's bougie, or she's stuck up, or she's uppity, or I probably can't talk to her. She don't look like someone you could probably talk to. Like, where does that really come from? So I'm not in control of the guys, but for us as women, one of the reasons why some of us may be single, and again, anything I say, I'm working on myself, is for us to challenge our belief system, like our perceptions, because if that's what they're thinking, if some guys are thinking that, I'm sure we have our own perceptions about certain guys as well. And honestly, they could be totally false, ladies. Totally false. Because just like the woman who asked the question at the event, I felt like it's totally false. Like, you put me in a box because, for example, I dress well, or I carry myself with clearly, confidently, and no, I'm not walking with my head down because no, I don't have low self-esteem, and so you automatically put me in this box that for you means like I'm not cool. Like, that's crazy. And so one thing we certainly probably can do is change our perceptions, and really think like, do I really have a real reason to think like that? Because you haven't even given the person a chance. Like, you've assumed that they're a certain kind of way. and that man, from us as women, that man may not be anything like that, right? He may not be anything like that. Another thing I would bring up, which I know I brought up in a previous video, and I said like being more open, just to be more open, because that kind of ties, in a way, it ties along with in a way with the perception. You know, if we only have an idea that he has to be, you know, this tall and the washboard abs, and he's got to make a certain amount of money, like he had, like, there's a certain, like, he absolutely, like, has to, it's a very, very narrow, very, very rigid box that this man has to fit in, you know, then we may be slimming our chances for love, ladies. You know, I believe that my honey is out there. I do believe that we're going to come together when we're both ready for each other, because we do have to both be ready for each other. And so just doing what I'm supposed to do as far as loving myself and serving, you know, trying to fulfill my purpose, and do what I was called to do, being authentic, walking in my authenticity. So that's where I'm at, and that's where you guys, I would say, should be at. You know, focus on yourself, love yourself, you know, do the things that make you happy, inspire you, you know, keep your energy high and like your vibration high, because that will certainly draw, I believe, draw or help draw the right person to you. You know, but being really, really rigid on what he has to look like, and be like, and, you know, he has to make X amount of money. Like, I don't know that that's, in 2017, with the amount of us single, clearly something's not working. And I think that probably has to do with some of those things that are not necessarily needs, but they may be wants. And no way am I saying that you should take some broke man, some low down average Joe, because I would never do that. I'm not gonna tell you something I ain't gonna do. But maybe just honestly taking a look at your list, if you have one, or if you haven't developed a list, just really looking at what do you really need, you know, character wise, you know, values. What do you really need? Does he have to be 6'4"? Does he have to make six figures? I mean, especially if you're not making six figures. Okay, that's another thing. Asking for stuff that we don't have. Yeah, you do have to become what you want to attract. So, yeah, I'm sorry, ladies, but you talking about a man that's supposed to be making $1 million a year, and you're making like 20,000, and you're not even moving forward. I don't think so. We need to be realistic. I'm not gonna sugarcoat and give you some orchestra and sweet sound good stuff. No, we're gonna have real talk, real conversation. You know, I'm not saying you can't want someone that has more, but just be realistic and fair, I would say, to what you're asking for relative to where you're at and what you have. Okay, like, don't be asking for like way up here and like you're like way down here, because that wouldn't be fair to him. Okay, in a relationship there are two people, not just one. So, you know, when you're writing your list down, or if you already have a list, you know, really think about it. What kind of man, for the man, what kind of woman do you think that the man would want based on what you set out for your criteria? Because that's important too. We all, to some level, let's just be honest, we have to be bringing something to the table, and it does not always have to be financial. It doesn't have to be financial, but we need to be honest about what we can bring. And for some men, it has nothing to do with the finances. He could just want a woman that's loyal and he can have fun with and he feels good around. You know, that's not even an issue, you know? So It just depends. But I just want to bring up a couple things, like I did. It's 2017 and we all clearly, want love. And so I'm looking at what I'm going to do different, and just being more open or continuing to be open. And I would suggest that you do too. If you don't have a list, please, I suggest, I think it's a good idea to have one. And I would say, like your top 5 deal breakers or non-negotiables. But in my opinion, they should be things that are needs, not wants. Him being 6'4", that is not a need. That is a want, honey. Think of real values. Like, what do you really need? Do you need him to be monogamous? Do you need him to be loyal? Do you need him to have ambition? Do you need him, I guess, like if he has kids, do you need him to be a good father in his children's life? If that's what you're looking for, to like blend a family, for example. So that's what I just wanted to speak to. Like I said, write a list down if you have it. Think about it again. It's 2017. Do you need to revise your top 5 non-negotiables? Were they superficial before? And now, you're like, yeah, that's not a need. That was just a want, okay? Your wants can change, but your needs are always going to be consistent. You might need someone to support you, okay? Wanting someone who has a 6-pack, I don't know that that's a need, but that's just me. I don't know that that's a need. You may need someone who is into a healthy lifestyle, and what that might look like is he works out. But he could be somebody that works out. But maybe he doesn't necessarily need to have a 6-pack or an 8-pack, So again, I just wanted to bring that up for you guys. Like I said, we had a great conversation at the event that I went to. And so I tell you guys, I speak to my future husband. Yes, I do the dear future husband notes. I do that for myself too, for him. I've written him letters. I actually just record audio now because it's easier. I just talk to him. Like a regular person. I prayed for him. So I know he's in the works, in the energy. He's in the works. I definitely believe that. And that's another thing before I go, I'm sorry, is your belief system has a lot to do with it. Your belief system has a lot to do with what you do manifest. You attract what attracts like. Yes, you attract who you are, but you also really attract what you believe you're worth. Whether or not you believe you're worthy of love or not, that plays a role. Your beliefs, they play a role in who you attract or, what you manifest. So if you only believe, he has to be, this tall and, this weight and all that, okay, you're going to get that. And then, if you keep getting that, it's not working, maybe you might want to try something different. At some point we have to stop sounding like a broken record all the time, because clearly something's not working. So, your belief plays a huge, huge role. What is your story? What's the story that you're telling yourself about love? What's the story you're telling yourself about who he has to be or what he has to look like? Is that something that you really, did you develop that for yourself, or did someone tell you that that's what you're supposed to want? Because that's a difference. There's a difference. If you're around women that constantly are telling you oh yeah, you better make sure he got a good job and he makes this kind of money and he drives this kind of car, that kind of influence, that right there may be exactly what's stopping you from the right person, because maybe that's not what you need. Maybe for those women, they need that, but for you, that's not what you need. And you need to figure out what you need. So get rid of the toxic people, or get rid of other people's opinions and what they think you should, what they think you should want. Because a lot of us do have that. We grew up hearing that. And so naturally we're looking for that. But, you've got to do some inner work. I think the best way for us all to attract him, which I think I said earlier in the video, is to focus on you. Do the inner work. Just work on you. Be your best self. You be the best version of you. So that way, like, two whole people are coming together, not broken people per se. You know, I'm not, like, in other words, like, I'm not going out to look for someone to complete me. He's not looking for someone to complete him, you know, to fill voids that really can only be filled by you, like by your own self-love, you know, like purpose. Jack A. Daniels, he's cool. He's Marshawn's husband. So, so he has a book called I Need a Wife. And oh my gosh, I love the book. I think I sent him an email and I was like, oh, anytime that I speak, like where the guys are involved, I am totally going to be bringing up your book because I loved it. Just like how my book was written for women. But if a man were to read it, the principles are the same. His book clearly written for men, but the principles, I love the book as a woman. Yeah. And so he says it's not a person-sized whole. It's a purpose-sized whole. So in other words, like we're going out trying to, you know, get a guy to fill a void. It's not a person. You really don't need him to fill you. You need to fill that void with you, your self-love, your hobbies, your passions, your purpose. Like what you need to like give more to yourself. That's what you're missing. That's what you should be focusing on. Because really, if you just keep going out looking to fill voids, I mean, you're going to keep attracting the same people. They just have different names, and you're going to run into the same issues, and you're going to take the same baggage in every situation. It's just going to be it's just going to be like a broken record. Okay. At some point, you know, it's got to stop. At least if you want change. I'm sorry. At least if you want change and you want to be happy. It's got to stop. We have to do something different, period, point blank. But if you want different results, you got to do something different. So this video is it's longer than I thought, as usual. Oh my gosh, I need to figure out a way to not talk as much, I guess. I was going to do a Facebook Live, but I don't know, I didn't feel like it because I felt like I wanted to be okay. And I don't know why. If I was on Facebook Live, I might say something and be like, oh shit, you know. So I love you ladies, as always. I love you. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to comment below. You can email me. Just go to the website right now. It's dreamencourager.com. I have the No More Broken Records website. It's going to be rebuilt again. So for right now, you can just go on dreamencourager.com and, you know, put in an inquiry if you have a question, or you can comment below the video. And I would, you know, do my best in being honest, do my best in checking to make sure I answer questions. Okay. Because I'm human and I'm busy. I'm doing everything. But I'm here to serve you guys and be here for you guys. And we're all here in this together. So new things, new attitude, positive changes, and loving ourselves more and giving to ourselves, and being open and optimistic, and just taking 2017, you know, taking it by storm. So let's go, ladies. You are queens, my queens. I love you. My book is coming out shortly, so look out for that. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to find it on my fan page, which I have all the details to all of my social media handles on the bottom of the page. Okay, so I love you ladies, you queens, my queens. You are queens. Honor yourself as the queens that you are. Okay, the crown is the top of your head. Don't ever forget that. That crown is there, so you wear your crown proudly and unapologetically. Okay, I love you. Bye.